guys, Rida here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make this video as quickly as I can and make it maybe as lengthy as I can due to storminess, just in case she decides to blow my roof off. So I'm going to make this as short and sweet as possible. But today I'm going to be reviewing D is for Darien, and that is part of the Visa series which I started 2 weeks ago. So this is part 2 of the book, and I'm so sorry because I think I'm just going to be blubbering. I got so carried away reading this book, I forgot to actually take notes of the themes and everything else. So I think again it's going to be more of a narration, and I think anyone who's read a book which they love, they have a hard time reviewing it, and I think I'm finding it with this series. So just to give you guys the synopsis, obviously, as I always do. This for Darien is by Mona Ombogo, and the synopsis reads: she knew the moment she met him that he was a dangerous man, and an undeniable mysteriousness lurked just beneath the surface. Back then, she thought the wrongest thing about being attracted to him was that he had denied her visa to join her fiancé in the UK. Now she realizes that should have been the least of her worries. Because Darien Mitchel isn't just a visa officer, he's something far more lethal, far darker. As Reinhanda continues to explore Darien's enigmatic billionaire world, she has to ask herself if the journey will be worth it. If he's more than just a visa officer, then what is he? A British national? Or what is a British national really doing in Nairobi, Kenya? Or is she already in too deep? Okay, that was a bit off, but anyway. So to just give you guys a briefing of this review, let's get into the video. So last week, 2 weeks ago, when we left off, Handa was starting to have feelings for Darien. So this book actually lets us into the world of Darien. So Darien, as Rain is becoming to know, is a very rich guy. He's like a billionaire in the UK. His inheritance, his family's far off. Like they have tea with the Queen and all of that. But then he doesn't really own he doesn't get his wealth only from his family. He kind of is like he's a spy, which was very interesting because it was like living on the edge. So for me, I was like, okay, let me see where this goes. So it's very interesting, like how he ends up letting her into a world. And I love, it's beautifully written. Like Mona did an incredible job in like including the reader into the story, because even the questions which you're asking, they're like, oh, so what about this, they're kind of like explained in the next chapter. So it's not one of those spy books where you have to wonder or think too much. It's kind of laid down for you. And for someone who's never really read a spy African literature book, it was very interesting. It was very, very interesting, and I liked that also because hello, romance. So that for me, it really did it for me. So Darien, he ends up telling Rain that he's a spy, he's killed people, and he goes on missions, which is why sometimes he's like AWOL. Like they'll be like, let's say in the middle of a date, and then like he sees one of his partners comes in. He doesn't even say anything, you can just see her from a distance, and then she knows that he has to go. And through this process, like when she's actually getting to know and to understand him, we get to know that Theo, her ex-fiance, is actually a spy who Darien has been after for years. So it explains why he couldn't not disclose per se. It kind of like opens your eyes to why he wasn't very active in trying to bring it to the UK, because if he had to do that, he would have to expose himself. So Theo ends up coming after Rain loses her dad, and that's an experience which really breaks it down, because she was very close to her family. I think her bond with her family also made it a very realistic story, because they were very tight-knit, her and the sister Sunshine, very lovely names, Rain and Sunshine. And also the relationship which she had with her parents, it was very perfect. Different from like other African books which I've read. you know, where there's like a lot of tension between a parent and a child. So this one was very refreshing. And also, like, you know, how Darien, when he started like meeting Rain's family, he kind of like fit in so perfectly, and he was actually speaking a language and all of that. So it turns out that's one of the things that spies do. They know a lot of languages for them to infuse themselves into the community, you know, for them to understand the ways of the people. Kind of helps. So that happens, and then Theo comes back. And whilst Theo comes back, he's very rude towards Darien, because, well, first of all, he's taken, you know, her girlfriend. As much as Theo was like a spy and like it was part of the bad guys. I don't want to like disclose all of it, but it was kind of like the bad guys in quotes, okay. And he was very cold towards Darien. They ended up actually fighting, you know, in Rain's family home. And then people were just very suspicious as to why he knows like those kind of moves. Like, he just had like his character, Darien's character, he just had that, you know, that mysteriousness that you'd be like, okay, so what else do you do, that kind of thing. So he ends up like lining a job for Rain, and as usual, they're very steamy scenes, you know, very steamy scenes, which is why I thought this could be actually part of the R-rated series. If I'm to start one, this will be part of it. And there's another book which I read, which African literature, which also has that kind of like, you know, feeling. And I like that, you know. It means that African literature just doesn't mean one thing. It just doesn't mean, you know, like we have to read all about suffering or about, you know, poverty, porn, all of that. It's very exciting to see this kind of this different side to African literature. So highly recommend this book. I'm so sorry I can't do like a lengthy review, one, because I got carried away and I forgot to write the themes and everything. That tells you how much I enjoyed this. Number two, because of storm Eunice, I'm afraid the roof might get blown off, or the electricity might get cut, so I'm just being a bit quick, so apologies on that front. But I highly recommend this book. I'm so sorry for this crappy review, but highly recommend it. Highly recommend the series. I'll try to do it more justice next week when I do the third book, which is part of the Visa series. And after I actually finish reading it, there's a fourth one which is coming out this year, so I'll try and like put it in. Maybe if I don't do it next year for Valentine's Day, I might just, you know, try and find a day where I can actually talk about the book which is coming out this year. It's called E is for Eco. So it kind of tells us, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but it kind of tells us about the life of Rain and Darien as they move forward, you know, with their lives later on. So thank you so much for watching this short but not very good video. I hope to do it justice next week, and I hope you have an incredible week, you have an incredible day, and bye.